Coming up in the news, today is Inauguration Day for the United States. Hear how Grand Bahamians showed their support for the newly elected president and vice president. Also, a local pastor weighing in on suicides and what the role of the church should be at this time. And later, a Grand Bahamian professional basketball player having success on the world stage. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shoshana Roll-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, it was a big day in the United States today as the 46th President, Joe Biden, and the 49th Vice President, Kamala Harris, were officially sworn in at Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C.
Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. do solemnly swear.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
We're a skinny black girl descended from slaves.
The ceremony marking the start of the four-year term for the president and vice president. Now, today's inauguration was historic for Vice President Kamala Harris, as she is the first woman to hold that high office in the country. Now, women around the world adoring themselves in pearls on this historic day in America in support of that country's first female vice president. Women on Grand Bahama also wearing their pearls, as the jewel is said to represent class and power. Natalia Hall has more.
It's about strength, it's about dignity, it's about elegance, it's about empowerment, it's about grace, it's about being a lady.
January 20th, 2021 is a very historic day for many women on Grand Bahama as they are showing their support for Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, the first woman to ever hold that position. Sometime late last year, a group was formed on Facebook, and there, women across the globe were asked to wear pearls on the United States Inauguration Day, as the Vice President's pearl necklaces have become a symbol of female empowerment.
This is a historic day for women of color all around the world. This victory does not just belong to the United States of America. She is a symbol of what we can aspire to and how much we need to fight. As much as I'm appreciative and glad that we're having this historic moment, it's still sad that it's 2021 and we're still having first for women around the world.
It signifies the power of women, the fact that we are shattering glass ceilings in this world today, and we're reaching for the top.
We're excited, we're happy. We've been supporting each other over the years, and to see a day like today come into fruition is something that's great for us. We're definitely happy about educated women and what today really, really means for us.
Another first for Harris is the fact that she's the first black person in U.S. history to ever hold America's second highest office. Now, reports say the vice president has famously worn pearls on momentous days in her life, including her graduation from Howard University, congressional swearing-ins, and debates.
Women have a different insight in many regards to business, to the engineering of countries, to the development of nations. And for years, for ions. In fact, our voices have probably been silenced or pushed in the background, and this today represents just a peeking forward into the forefront.
This is indeed a red letter day for us, and it not only affects America, but it certainly affects what happens here in the Bahamas, because we look at our own women's suffrage movement, and we look at the way various political parties on our landscape, they're trying to push women forward. And so this is something we want to support, and if it means putting on a string of pearls to do that, to show that solidarity, I'm all in.
These pearls are said to symbolize the elegance of women.
Of course, pearls signify class and elegance, but strength. It shows what a woman is. We're beautiful, but not just beautiful on the outside. Inside, the internal strength that we have to persevere. It signifies strength. It signifies classiness. That simple string of pearl, it says a lot about a female. You don't need all the other junk. That pearls just say you're classy.
Now, these women say this day gives them a sense of hope, and barriers will continue to be broken by women around the world. It's Talia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, Tally. Well, members of the Divine Nine also coming together in a powerful way to show support for Vice President Kamala Harris, who is also a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. The organizing power of Black Greeks were realized as hundreds of thousands of members assisted in fundraising and voter registration efforts. Today, the local chapters of the Ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, also joining thousands of other women across the world by wearing pearls. And tonight, they are sharing why it was important for them to do so. Kamala Harris was initiated into Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated at Howard University in Washington in 1986. It is no secret that once the announcement was made that this powerhouse was named as vice president on Joe Biden's ticket in the 2020 election, the Greek family of the Divine Nine pulled together and worked in tandem to support Harris. Today, Inauguration Day, a proud moment for the local AKAs, the first Black Greek letter sorority.
To know that one of our very own, a soror of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, is now the Vice President of the United States of America. I am elated, I am ecstatic, and she represents what we're representing today. Today, everyone was asked to wear pearls, and she represents the power and the elegance, the grace, and her journey was not an easy one. So she's went through what the pearl has gone through to become a pearl.
So it just affirms a lot of the things that I knew when I decided to join Alpha Kappa Alpha, that you are joining a sisterhood of women who are not only going to go after their dreams and goals, but they're going to make their presence felt in the world, and they're going to leave a legacy.
And today, when persons who graduated from an HBC school, yes, we've been in Congress. Now we know we can rise to the top. Our next step is to be the President of the United States, and it will be a woman.
But Harris is not the only trailblazing Black politician to hail from the Divine Nine. Delta Sigma Theta members Shirley Chisholm and Barbara Jordan were the first and second African American women to seek the presidential nomination of a major political party. 4 years before her 1972 presidential campaign, Chisholm became the first African American woman to be elected to Congress. These members of the local chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated say today was another historic day for Black women and for the Divine Nine.
And so it shows that, she would have started it, and definitely we are paving the way, and we are continuing to show our strength and our power and how important it is for our organization and also for Black women.
This is just a remembrance of her. As we know, pearls are just unique gemstones, and we just wanted to show how unique this moment is right now, today, in our history.
Also showing support today by wearing pearls were members of the Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Sorors around the world in support, especially being the first Black female, and our organizations are Black
Greek-lettered organization, so we saw it fit to make sure, after putting so much support behind the voting process, now we are here to support on the day of.
The local chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho share why it was also important for them to wear pearls on this historical day.
Obviously, we're proud to support Kamala Harris as the first Black and, I guess, Asian Vice President of the United States. She was also a member, she went to HBCU, and she's also a member of the Divine Nine. So just in solidarity with women around the world, and especially in the United States, we wear our pearls today as a sign of sophistication, class, elegance.
The Divine Nine organized several events like a stroll to the polls, voter registration, and fundraising, which showed the power of Greek unity. These women say not only were these events powerful and successful, but there is also a lesson to be learned.
One of the pictures that got to me was when I saw all of the different colors literally strolling to the polls in their skirts, and that shows what we're truly about. Yeah, we cheer and have our fun, but what really is about is the work of our sororities.
For our nation, if we want to change in our country, not just register, we need to register and vote, and that is where our voices will be heard.
Now, as residents on the island of Abaco continue to rebuild in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian, a local pastor and community leader is commending residents for their resilient spirit while appealing for a further extension on a particular exemption. Megan Shepard has more. We will have that story in a later newscast. Well, switching gears, the latest statistics of suicides and attempted suicides in the country show an increase in numbers since last year. Here's this report where a local pastor is speaking on where the church fits in.
The rising number of suicides committed yearly in the country continues to be a pressing issue. In 2020, according to statistics released by police, suicides increased by 38% compared to the previous year. Of those numbers, 5 of those cases were in Grants, Bahamas. Well, we spoke to senior pastor of Freeport Bible Church, Cal Maycock, and he says it is a necessary conversation.
It's alarming. It's really saddening, but it's not surprising. For a long time, people have been struggling with things like mental illness, emotional unwellness, loneliness, loss of hope, and without any real resource to help them through it. And given what we've been going through the last decade, usually when things aren't checked or there's no intervention, sometimes, unfortunately, these things just boil over, where people just give up on life itself and just decide to end it all. So for me, it's saddening because we're a small community, and we all feel it when someone loses a loved one.
In 2020, there were 5 attempted suicides in Grants, Bahamas. Pastor Cal says the role of the church is to care for people and to provide ministry, and that is meeting needs. He says one of the greatest challenges in the community is mental illnesses, and he believes church leaders should talk more about mental health and address it intentionally.
And it is our responsibility to address those needs, and you do it one, by equipping your parishioners, your leaders, to address those issues. So equipping church leaders is more than equipping them to sing, dance, usher. Is now equipping them to reach people and to touch people's lives and to empower them and to walk them through certain phases of life. And so the role of the church is to train its leaders to do ministry. That's one. For those instances where it's kind of out of our league, you refer. It should be a part of the evangelism, discipleship strategy. There should be a lot of partnerships because it is taboo. It has been taboo. There's a lot of our parishioners, a lot of people in Grand Bahama, a lot of people in our country who are caring for their parents who have mental illnesses, but they're suffering and doing it in silence. There is a community of people that need help that, in my opinion, they're forgotten. And so the church leaders, ministries, parachurch organizations, social programs, we all need to work together to hone in on this serious issue that we have.
Pastor Kyle says residents of Grand Bahama have witnessed several traumatic events, and he is sharing this advice to those who may be dealing with the struggles of life.
It means that you're vulnerable in some area, just like everyone else. That's a part of the human experience, to be vulnerable. So if you are struggling with suicidal thoughts, you're struggling with hopelessness, I would say to you, talk to somebody. Start by talking to somebody. You cannot do it alone. You're not supposed to do it alone. And so I would encourage you to tell someone what you're going through. Talk therapy is a good start, but there are professionals, there are people who are gifted naturally and people who are skilled professionally, competently, they help us through this issue. When we have the flu, we go to the doctor. When we're physically sick, we see a physician. If we're emotionally sick, psychologically sick, we also need to see someone who can help.
Shamila Missick, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.